Good evening to all the audience of PGurus. Today we will have a short discussion on this federal government versus central government. Now the Tamil Nadu government of late is calling it as federal, what is known as in Tamil it is called Ondriya Sarkar. That means it is a collection of states. This is something very interesting. In the 1952, the DMK manifesto mentioned about this federal. After that, they completely dropped it in 57, 62, all the manifestos later. I do not know why suddenly they are taking it up again. Basically, they want to say that it is a collection of states, which is totally what one can call misleading, and it is a total lie, if one can use that word, right? Okay, what is the origin of this issue? One group of, I would call mentally sick people or whatever it is, they consider India got formed only in 1947. Prior to that, there was no India, and because it was all Samasthanams and other. And a subgroup of this feel that the collection of states is the country. Both of them are factually wrong. The idea of India has been there for thousands of years actually. Anybody who does any elementary sankalpam in a temple would know. We always start with Bharatavarshe Bharatagande Meroho. That's how the sankalpam starts. So Bharatavarsha, the idea of Bharat is there for long time. The constitution also, it is called India, that is Bharat. It should have been actually Bharat, that is India. Anyhow, Vishnu Purana, one of the oldest Puranas which is available to us, there is a verse which comes, Uttaram yat samudrasya imadreshaiva dakshinam varsha tadu bharatam nama bharati yatra santati. Vishnu Purana, it says, one of the very old Puranas actually. It says the country that lies north of the ocean, south of Himalaya, is called Bharat. People here are the children of Bharat. Bharat comes from the Sanskrit word bru, that means to carry knowledge, which is also connected with the goddess Saraswati. So there is a enough amount of evidence to suggest this 1947 arbitrary date of cutting India into India and Pakistan is not the starting of India. Otherwise, why would they form East India Company in Britain if there is no India? Nobody want to question. Even Columbus actually went in search of India. He wrongly landed in America is another story, another thing. So this whole thing is unacceptable. They have always been there. The question was, there was a cultural, religious, civilizational unity of the country. The occupiers, the colonizers, they made it into a different type of presidencies and other thing, and it got together. And the post, around 48, 49, Ambedkar and Sardar Vallabh Patel is the primary person who merged all the kingdoms inside the country. And at that time it was called the Union of States. The states were the states of all these Samasthanams, the states of Mysore, Travancore and various other. And that is the original situation. After that, what happened? Potti Sriramulu, he fasted in 52, 53, and then he is actually one of the interesting, tragic thing actually. He was a very sincere man, Gandhian. He wanted a Telugu speaking state for the Telugus. He fasted and died, and it created enough amount of riots and conflicts. Then in 56, it was decided to make this linguistic formation in terms of what you may loosely call the Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu and Kerala and other. So this was created by the center. Let us be very, very clear. The states are the creation of the center in India. Unlike in US, where the states all combine together to form a center. For instance, in US situation, the state border cannot be arbitrarily redrawn by center and other things. States have enormous amount of power. In India, a state can be added by the, like Sikkim we added, Goa we added, another thing. A state can also be split by the center, like Uttarakhand got a separate state, Jharkhand got a. So there is absolutely no way in which you can compare our situation. Here the center is the critical element which dominates, which created the state. If it wants, it can reorganize the state. There is absolutely no problem at all. So it's a central government and the state governments. Let's be very clear about it. Actually, whenever the center gets a circular on this federal from some states like Tamil Nadu, DMK Govt, it should straight away reject it. It should send it back. It's totally unacceptable. It is not as per constitution. It is not as per norms which are used in our context. This is very, very important because there is a wrong type of a message which goes. One of the supposedly senior journalists, he says, our center is some sort of a combined shaking hand of all the states. It's a rubbish statement actually, which is being encouraged. And it is required to put a full stop to this. Anybody who doesn't call it as a central government, and that letter or that type of a communication should automatically be rejected. If you ask me, calling India as a federal system like in US is I can use a strong word, is treason. Because it automatically implies anytime if they want, they can go out or what. This whole thing is unacceptable, and the sooner we put a full stop to it, the better for it. We have a central government and the center which created the states. The center is not the creation of states. So when Professor Srinivasan of Madurai nicely enunciated this, that the various limbs of the body make a human being. And automatically it doesn't mean these limbs are the elements which have made the body. And similarly, a house can also be called as a collection of rooms or what. The whole thing is unacceptable. Sooner we come out of this what I would rather call separatist mentality, the better for the country as a whole. Thank you very much.